Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
A lot of glitz and glamour and a lot of me going, oh, yeah, okay, cool, that one won. That one that I haven't seen. I haven't seen, like, any of the movies. 2 nominees at all. 1 from the 10 in the Best Picture list. But still, I was at a celebration and I managed to get the second place with the pure guesstimations on the Oscars pool. Won a shiny little statuette last night and a little Lego kit. Solid. Yeah, I think it's a big win. Take that, Adrian Brody, you know? And I gotta say, like, you know, what a power move that he had while he was up on stage winning the Best Actor nod again, like 20 years later. Started to play the music for him. And he just says, no, stop playing the music. I'll be quick, but I have more to say. And, you know, you've got to continue, got to finish. And they actually stopped playing the music. I can't even... You can just do this? You can choose to just say, nah. I was half expecting them to just keep boosting the volume in response to him saying that he wasn't done yet and just keep pushing it until he just, you know, gave up. Because I think that would be pretty rude to do. It'd be really confusing and disorienting for whoever was trying to listen to that. Yeah, I understand.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
Getting things started off, of course, there's all to do with the Oscars last night, and there was a special moment, a tribute to the late, great Quincy Jones, who died at the age of 91 last year in November due to a battle with pancreatic cancer. A very, very big tribute began with the reveal of Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey coming on out after, many years since they had their turn together in The Color Purple in 1985. Which was produced by Quincy, but they actually threw to, I was already going like, what, this is like the powerful black women on TV from the 90s, and then they added the third, Queen Latifah, the major holy trinity of it, just absolutely wild, and of course a very special tribute to follow that, and a song from The Wiz, which was from 1978 reimagining of The Wizard of Oz, so hot right now. There's no hope for Daryl Hall and John Oates to reunite again. They had legal trouble that began in 2023, the most recent of their various issues over the years. But an interview with The Times has Hall saying that it was the ultimate partnership betrayal when asked if the ship has sailed on any chance of reconciling. Said that ship is now at the bottom of the ocean. No uncertain terms. And while he was getting ready for the Oscars to make an appearance, Mr. Elton John was making time on Saturday to talk about how big changes in the U.S. are affecting people around the world. He is the leader of the Elton John AIDS Foundation, one of the giant in the world, the world's leading independent HIV/AIDS charities. And the U.S. aid cuts, many 90% of contracts cutting is going to have an effect on millions of people who are in jeopardy and put progress in jeopardy as well.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Task masking. You're going to need to know this term, I guess. I mean, or not. It's probably just going to disappear again, not be a thing. But what is task masking? Oh, God, another term from the internet. Yes. Except this time, it's nothing new. I mean, I've seen articles saying, oh, you're going to watch out for this new trend. It's really hurting people's chance to advance their careers. It's not a new thing. It's not a sweeping trend. It is absolutely something that's been around since working was invented. Task masking. What does it mean? It just means that you're making yourself seem busier than you are. See? That's nothing new. I've worked alongside, sure, a lot of people who have had that kind of tendency. Sure, I've even done it myself from time to time. But also, it's not just a worker thing. I've had several bosses like this in my years. In fact, I find it most common to have somebody in a management position who's just kind of looking busy, doing things. Oh no, at the golf course this afternoon though, instead, that kind of thing. And hey, in certain cases, sure, seems earned. But in a lot of cases, it seems like it's like, what are you trying to cover up? Or you've even got that friend who every time you talk to them, oh gosh, just so busy. And then you see them sign on to a game on Steam within like 10 minutes. It was a very important day over the weekend, not because of the Oscars, but still movie related. It was actually 60 years yesterday since The Sound of Music reached theaters. So 60 years and a day today. That means it's been 6 decades since the Von Trapp family sang us a song that took way too long to just basically say, hey, the kids are going to bed, but the party's still happening. If I was at a party and the kids all started singing their goodnights, I'd be like, my cab's here. I think it's good. And, singing songs about favorite things that include doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles. Those actually are decent things. But favorite things? I don't know. Up to you, Fräulein Maria. And also 60 years since Georg tore up that Nazi flag in Austria, and just such a fantastic moment. Oh gosh, that still holds up today. Oh, the best.
Tuesday.
Today is Mardi Gras, a.k.a. Fat Tuesday, a.k.a. Shrove Tuesday, a.k.a. a day to eat pancakes. Maybe I'll partake, but I kind of already had my fill over the weekend. And it wasn't because of the time of year. At least, I had a glancing thought, like, did I do that because, like, this time of year there's an association with pancakes? But no, it was pure olfactory influence. Someone else on our floor must have been making pancakes of their own. And when I first stepped into the kitchen, yawning just to make a cup of coffee and figure out the day, I was in a cloud of heavenly, cakey smell. So I immediately knew what I must do. I had to check to see if we had mix or not, or if it was going to be like a from-scratch situation. Mix in the cupboard. Yes, score! Wait, check the dates. April 12th. 2025. Yes.
I say we celebrate. What are we having for breakfast?
Pancake. Pancake.
All right. Oatmeal and raisins. It is. Oh, kidding? It's pancakes.
Hey, pancake. Maybe 2 eggs side by each. Eh?
There's a particular flamin' hot Cheeto that looks like a Pokemon that just sold for nearly $88,000 US. 87,000 and change. My God. It was discovered and preserved at some point in the last 7 years, apparently. And, it's changed hands, been kept safeguarded. But it went viral online in late 2024, and that has made the perceived value absolutely skyrocket. Thankfully, no tariffs on that for the buyer. I don't think it changed cross borders. But the Cheeto in question, it resembles a Charizard. Or at least it does if you squint. That's about it. I guess the fact that it's a flamin' hot Cheeto and not the regular variety, and it's like a fire-based thing, there's a connection. I get it. But that's about all there is. Seriously, I'm done. The next time I find a chip or a piece of pretzel that looks like anything, I'm talking anything, it's going straight on eBay. If the temptation doesn't strike, of course.
Forbidden donut.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Green Day seeing the effects of Alfred. Cyclone Alfred. They were in Australia touring, but they've had to cut short the final show of the tour and postpone or cancel due to an extreme weather event. It's likely to be one of the biggest storms to hit the area that it's making landfall at around Queensland in over 50 years. It's not going to be good. Eric Clapton announcing a 2025 U.S. tour to promote his album Meanwhile. It's a brand new one from him. 6 dates across the U.S. in the fall. Not a huge tour, but people will be happy to go and check him out. Unfortunately, we end on sad news as we learned that the husband of Dolly Parton, Carl Dean, has died at the age of 82. He's been with Dolly Parton for over 6 decades. We're also finding out today for sure that these tariffs are in place now. Canada, Mexico, China, seeing executive action from the United States. It's definitely going to result in increased prices, at first for manufacturers and the like, but trickling down to the consumer before too long, I'm sure. Maybe in some cases already here. Who knows? Solid economic plan? Maybe? Question mark? I don't know. Looking back in history, as you do, a lot of people are likening it to the 1930s, or even 1930 specifically, right at the outset of the Great Depression, and how the United States had aggressive tariff action then. Now, I learned my lesson about this thanks to the movie that was essentially my security blanket as a child, the VHS copy of Ferris Bueller's Day Off that I had. I was a nut. I am a nut for John Hughes movies, but I never really think about this scene when I recall that movie. However, it's all too relevant now. Not that I really want to be learning too many lessons from Ben Stein.
Passed the... Anyone? A tariff bill the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which anyone raised or lowered raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
You can't get the visuals on it, of course, but if you've seen the movie, you know that entire scene is basically just the deadpan, bored-to-death faces of all the different kids in the class. I mean, pretty dry stuff, I gotta grant them. But I do feel like it reads a bit differently today. Watching that again, I'm like, oh God, they were so apathetic. Perhaps we should have paid more attention in the 80s.
Wednesday.
There's this incredible photo that's been going viral. It was captured February 23rd. A Canadian goose and a bald eagle squaring off, battling it out. And in Burlington, Ontario, by the way. This was posted to the photographer Mervyn Sakura's Instagram account on February 23rd and has absolutely exploded because obviously people are seeing, they're projecting onto it the tensions between Canada and the United States. Tariff Tuesday was yesterday. A newswire late yesterday was saying, well, maybe in the morning Trump might be reversing it. And it says, well, it's the yo-yo. We're on the roller coaster. We don't know what's going on. And I feel like that's the point. So, we got to buck up and we got to, of course, keep our wits about us. The best part about this situation where the bald eagle was the aggressor, was going to attack the Canada goose on ice. Home ice advantage, I have to say. It's probably a bad plan. Bald eagle making a ton of attempts, and eventually, 20 minutes or so later, bald eagle just gave up. I think that's also how people are really hoping the real-life situation kind of shakes out. The Prince documentary that was and then wasn't on Netflix was canceled, and the director is speaking out now, calling the decision a joke, saying that both the platform itself, Netflix, as well as the estate of Prince, are afraid of his humanity. And basically saying that it had been abandoned for a mutual agreement between the streaming service and the estate, and basically saying that they're going to be developing a documentary exclusively from the archive, and it's just not going to be what it was before. It feels like it's going to be a little bit polished, censored, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't feel like it's going to be as authentic as it may have been. A video that was widely loved but very strange, prog rock to its core, the 1972 concert film Pompeii from Pink Floyd, has been restored into 4K and is actually going to be seeing a limited theatrical release in April before it is available for everybody to watch on some sort of streaming service somewhere. But IMAX first. And Motley Crue are having to postpone their residency down in Sin City, where, it seems like they're going to fit right in. But it's because of Vince Neil needing a medical operation. They were supposed to have shows in April. Now that's been moved all the way to September as he prepares to undergo this procedure. Hopefully, everything going to plan, going along course. I'm remembering 5 years ago, not to the exact date, but about this time, when we switched from February into March. You remember what happened? You remember? You either do vividly or you've repressed it entirely, but 5 years ago is when the world shut down. We had people taking the journey down to Costco to stock up on everything, but especially on towers of toilet paper. Weird material to build a fort out of, but okay. And don't forget to snag all the free samples that are sitting out for everyone to touch and breathe on while you're at it as well. We got a little bit ridiculous for a minute there. Some of the homemade mask inventions that you still get to see sometimes on the internet. Somebody with the glass topper, the lid to their pots and pans. Yeah, it's got a vent in there. The steam vent is like a breathing hole, and then they tighten the drawstrings of the hoodie around it. Walking around Walmart. We got weird. We did. We got a bit ridiculous for a minute there. Or, for a few years straight.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.